Good morning and welcome back to my channel. We've had a slow start to the morning. It snowed. I was hoping to get outside a little bit more this week because it was literally 65 degrees yesterday, but no high hopes for that. So we will be hunkering down and reading a lot this week. Good morning. I just wanted to chat a little about the books that I plan on reading and kind of what my plans are for this week. There are 3 books that I am planning on reading. I might pick up a 4th depending on how quickly I get through these books. I guess we'll kind of just see as we go. The first book, and probably the one that I am most excited about reading, is Iron Gold by Pierce Brown. This one is the 4th book in the Red Rising series, and it takes place 10 years after the original trilogy ends. So I am really excited to start this one and see what I think. I have my bookmark in here ready to go. I have a pen picked out to underline because one thing I regret with the other 3 books is that I own them, but I did not annotate them when I read them. So I will be annotating this one. Book number 2, I am listening to this one on audio, and that is The Mad Wife. This one I have heard that if you like the movie Don't Worry Darling, then you would most likely enjoy this book, and I really did like the movie Don't Worry Darling. That one seems like a perfect springtime book, and I'm really excited to read it. I also think the cover is absolutely gorgeous. For book number 3 that I'm planning on reading, it's a short novella by T. Kingfisher, and it is book 3 in the Sworn Soldier series, and that is What Stalks the Deep. I really enjoyed the first 2 books. I thought that they were funny and quirky, and they were also just really fast, easy reads. I do have What Stalks the Deep from my library. The first 2 books are on Kindle Unlimited, and I read those through my Kindle app. The 3rd book is unfortunately not on Kindle Unlimited, so I did have to get it from my library, but I do have that. It is just in my son's nursery right now, and he is taking a nap. As for my other plans of the week, I was hoping to get outside some more, but it did snow this morning. But those are my plans for the week. I hope you enjoy, and let's get into it. Alright, just wanted to give a little update. I am currently halfway through The Mad Wife, and I am really enjoying it so far. However, some of the topics are very heavy, especially talking about like postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety. So I do find that I'm having to take frequent breaks while reading it, especially being only 5 months postpartum. But nevertheless, I still really am enjoying the story. I am only a couple of chapters into Iron Gold right now, so we're still kind of meeting everybody and seeing where they're at in the story because it does take place 10 years after Morningstar ends. I am almost 50 pages into What Stalks the Deep, and I am thoroughly enjoying that one as well. I do think T. Kingfisher's writing in the Sworn Soldier series is just really lighthearted and funny while also being like a little thriller horror novella. So I'm really enjoying that, especially as a palate cleanser in between some of the very large books that I've been reading. But that's all I have to update on now, and let's keep reading. Get ready and chat about some books with me. I have a light out that goes over my mirror right at the moment, but bear with me. I wanted to talk about the books that I've been reading. I did finish What Stalks the Deep and The Mad Wife, and I wanted to chat about them a little bit. I'm also like a third of the way into Iron and Gold, so I wanted to give an update. I'm kind of having to be a little bit quiet right now because my son is actually still in bed. But I did just want to come on here and talk really quick about some things. So first, I just wanted to talk about What Stalks the Deep really quickly. I think truthfully it might be my favorite out of the Sworn Soldier series. I really did enjoy it. I think it was a good mix of kind of like funny and thriller. It's also probably the weirdest in terms of like monsters or cryptids or whatever. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was funny and it was an easy read. It's like 170 pages. So I felt like it had the most even pacing. I also think I enjoyed it better because there were more established characters. Unfortunately, Hob the horse is not in What Stalks the Deep, but Angus is, and we like Angus. So I really enjoyed that one. I think I rated it 3.5 stars. Now on to The Mad Wife. I have a lot of thoughts on this one. First and foremost, that it was a great book. It didn't quite give me 5-star feelings, so I did rate it 4.75, but I still think it was very amazing. I think the only reason it didn't give me 5-star feelings is just because the pacing is a tiny bit uneven and it starts off rather slow. But there is good reason for that as well, because the main character, the wife, as you can imagine, we are slowly watching her go mad. Now, this was a very heavy book. I kind of had a hard time reading about some of the topics, just because I could relate to some of the things. For a good chunk of the book, Lucy, the main character, is freshly postpartum. And I am 5 months postpartum, so a lot of the feelings that kind of go along with that, the fears, can sometimes weigh on you, and that did make it kind of like a difficult read. I had to take frequent breaks. But one thing I really did appreciate about this story is that it is not anti-man. I feel like sometimes when you're reading a book that is discussing women's struggles and like some of the things that women have gone through throughout history, especially when it comes to like health and wellness and medical care and all that stuff, a lot of those things can end up being very anti-man when that's not the problem. The problem isn't like men are evil, men are horrible. Does that mean there are not horrible people out there who are men? Yes. But it's more so like the systems in place that are set up. So I really appreciated the fact that Lucy's husband was not painted out to be just like this terrible, awful person. Because as a married woman who does like my husband quite a lot, I don't like reading books where it's always like the husband's the bad guy, the husband is terrible, the husband is evil. Like, can we have a good husband in a book for once? And I felt like they accomplished that here. So those are my thoughts on The Mad Wife. I really did enjoy it a lot. As for Iron Gold, I am 210 pages in, I think is where I left off last night. I did start listening to part of the book on audio. I found the fully dramatized audiobook version, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But so I'm doing audio and physical and kind of hopping back and forth. As far as the point of views go, I am really enjoying some of the new point of views that we're getting, particularly Lysander. I just got to part 2 of the book, and Darrow is pissing me off so badly right now. And I just really feel for Mustang and Pax at the moment. But it is really fun to see everybody and kind of where they're at 10 years after the ending of the original trilogy, and so I'm just really enjoying it so far. But that's all of my update for now, and thanks for getting ready with me. Alright, the wee baby's in bed sleeping right now, so I'm going to give a little update. It's been a couple of days since I've really done much filming. And part of that is just because I've been busy. We had a lot of things going on with family this week and still do actually. It's currently Friday at the moment. Tomorrow we have a dinner with some extended family that we don't get to see very often. And then on Sunday is actually my husband and I's anniversary. So we have plans on Sunday as well. And I probably will not be filming anything at all for the next couple of days. I did finish Iron Gold and I absolutely loved it. This was my second 5-star of the year. I think it was done so well. I think the transition of the original trilogy just being the main character, Darrow's point of view, and then starting the next series, you're 10 years in the future after all of the events of Morningstar, which is the last in the original trilogy, and you're getting 3 additional points of view along with Darrow's. I really did enjoy the 3 additional points of view, particularly the 4th point of view that you get. I think it was done really well. I will say that Iron Gold is sort of an introductory to the continuation of the Red Rising series. A lot of the point to this book, it would seem, is build up to the rest of the series. It is 596 pages. However, you're getting 4 different points of view and they're all split up pretty evenly, and that comes out to about 150 pages, give or take, of each character. The way that it ends is not a cliffhanger, I wouldn't say, but it is kind of a to be continued. So I'm really excited to read Dark Age, which is the next book. But I just think it was so well done. I really enjoyed the new points of view, and Pierce Brown is one of my most favorite authors of all time. I have been in very much of a sci-fi mood lately, sci-fi fantasy. It's just kind of what I've been into reading lately, especially with me reading Red Rising and the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. I've got a lineup of books that I want to read next. I do plan on reading the Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook, which is the 3rd book in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, by the end of this month. And then come April, I will be starting The Will of the Many. Right now, it came available on Libby for me. I am reading Queen of Shadows, which is book 5, I think, in the Throne of Glass series, and I'm already about 50 pages in. And then as far as physical books go, I needed one more physical book to read before I started The Will of the Many in April. And so my sister-in-law brought over her copy of Project Hail Mary. I am really, really excited to read this one. I did read a few pages last night while I was cooking dinner, and it's already very intriguing and very funny, and so I'm really looking forward to just diving into this one and reading it. I also forgot to mention for Iron Gold that I did read part of the book through audio. I found a copy of the graphic audio on Hoopla, which is like full cast, voice actors, sound effects, background music, everything, and I absolutely loved it. And so for Dark Age, I will probably do a combo reading as well, just because it's easier to get through for it being a 750 page book. My plans for today are to continue reading Crown of Midnight and Project Hail Mary. I will probably go outside once my son wakes up from his nap and lay down in a little picnic blanket or a quilt or something and just read and soak up some sun for a little bit, because it's really nice outside. It's like 65 degrees right now, and I want to soak this in as much as I can, because probably it's going to start raining by the end of this week. So that is my update for now. I highly recommend, if you have not read the Red Rising series yet, please do. It is like my favorite series of all time. I have not read a single series that is written as well as this. And the characters you learn to love so well. My only qualms with the Red Rising series are that the battle scenes or the action scenes that are written in the book are sometimes incredibly long for my taste, but I'm just not an action girly. I don't like action movies. I don't really like action books, but I love this series so much. If you have not read it, please read it. I am going to make my matcha, clean up a little bit, and then when my son wakes up, we are going to go outside and read Project Hail Mary. Alright, it's been a few days since I last filmed. We've been very busy with a bunch of family things, with Easter, and my little one is kind of teething and is needing a little bit extra attention, so I just haven't had as much time to read or film lately. So it's probably been at least a week since I've tried to film anything. I finally finished Project Hail Mary. I don't have the book any longer. I was borrowing my sister-in-law's copy, but I genuinely loved it so much. I rated it 4.5 stars. The only reason it wasn't a 5-star for me is just because there were a lot of very sciencey parts of it and like actual science that went way over my head. But I really enjoyed the story. I really enjoyed the characters. I'm sorry I wasn't filming to give you updates throughout because I genuinely enjoyed it so much. I also really do like the way that it ended. I don't want to like give anything away or like spoil anything if you haven't read it yet, but I really did enjoy that there were like 1 or 2 things that were kind of open to interpretation towards the end, and I think it was written really well where, you know, Ryland Grace, the main character, he's alone in space for like pretty much the whole dang book. It's broken up with flashbacks, and it doesn't feel so like bleak and lonely when you're reading the book, and it was also actually a lot funnier than I thought it would be. So I just really enjoyed it. I cannot wait to see the movie. However, I have a 6-month-old. You cannot take a 6-month-old to a movie theater. Unfortunately, I'm probably gonna have to wait until like sometime in May when you're able to rent the movie on like streaming services or something like that to watch it. That's all for the video today. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.